Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a quick donations form, how to set up the payment process for it using what we recommend, Stripe, and then how to put it inside the mobile app. So let's get started. Log into your admin panel, and in the upper right you'll click Forms here. It'll connect you to Wufoo, and you'll just have a login with your username and password that were given if you're a premium account holder. When you log in the first time, there will be no forms here, so you'll see just like this. And I'm going to set up a simple donation form and show you how to create it, connect it to your payment processor, and then put it inside the app. So no fields are added, so I'm going to add some simple fields I know will be needed for the payment process. So I'll do name, let's do address and email, and then obviously price. And if I want to move something up, I'll use the donation amount, move it up to the top. Alright, I'm going to label my form donations. Redundant, but I think you get the point, right? Down here you can say confirmation option after they submit it. This is what the message that'll give, or you can redirect to a website. You can also send a confirmation email letting the user know that it's submitted it. For CAPTCHA, I recommend Auto. It'll just add a CAPTCHA if Wufoo thinks that it's a robot. If I want to change anything inside these elements, just click on them. All the stuff will pop up here, and I can change the label. So we'll say price, we'll say that's required, and then any other fields you want required, just click under the options. We'll save our form and continue to email notifications. Wufoo has a lot of integration stuff, and I won't go into it in this video, but for this point you want to set up your email that you want the form to go to let you know that somebody submitted it. You can also put your cell phone number and carrier, and it'll text you when somebody submits a form. Other integrations include mail integrations like MailChimp. So if I click here, I can go to Campaign Monitor or MailChimp, connect it to my MailChimp account, and then I can add like a donor to a mailing list. Alright, so once that's done, you click Forms here, and this will bring you back to all your forms. We've created our donation form. I can see the entries. These are the people that have entered the form. I can edit the form here. I can view the form, see how it looks. Analytics and see who's entered them and when. Notifications is where we just were, and then payments where we're going to go now. Select the merchant. This is why Wufoo and us recommend Stripe. It's just the easiest integration. It's 2.3% and 30 cents every transaction. It's cheaper than PayPal. There's no hassle with setting up APIs and all that stuff. It's very easy to connect to, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you have your other options, you can use PayPal, Google Checkout, and the following. If you don't have a Stripe account, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set that up. So you just hit Connect with Stripe. We'll say, I'm going to set up a new account, and you enter your email address. Create new. And then it's going to ask you to activate. Activating it is just connecting it to your bank account, answering a simple form on stripe.com, and it'll activate the account right away so you can use that integration. So we'll show you what that form looks like. And here's the form. Basic information it needs, and you'll change this to nonprofit if you are. You just your company, and you'll need your tax ID number, billing information, your credit card statement details, and bank details. Once you click authorize, it'll send you back to Wufoo. And then it'll show it connected to that Stripe account which you've created. Again, very, very simple to do and easiest integration. About every 3 days, the donation will go automatically from your Stripe account to the bank account that you selected in that form that you just saw. You can see here, if I want to preview the payment page, this is what the payment page is going to look like. So after they fill in their name, donation amount, it's going to say the price, and I'll explain that in a second. Credit cards accepted, and then they'll fill in their information, and as you can see, it's powered by Stripe, which is what we selected. So right here it's saying a fixed amount of $0. We want it to go by the donation amount. So any field or form you have there, whatever the user puts in the donation amount will be the amount that goes towards the Stripe payment. So we'll hit Save Settings at the top, and you have just created a donation form for your church. Now the next thing you do is just hit, just to the right of Payments, hit Code, and copy the top URL. You can do both, but I recommend the permanent short link URL. Okay, once that's done, close out of the window. Go to your first step, and if you don't have it already, add a donation tab, a Wufoo Forms tab. If you don't have it, you just click Add New Tab. Scroll down to Wufoo Form. Name it. Choose an icon. Save changes. And we'll move it up just for the sake of showing it in a second. Okay, now we'll go to Content and add that link that we just copied. We'll call it Giving. And copy the URL. You could have multiple Wufoo forms in there, so if you have different forms for different donations, you could do that. Alright, so let's see how the form looks. Click on the Giving tab there, and you can see the donation. I'll enter an amount. And it'll take me to my payment processing. I enter the information, submit payment, and I've accepted a donation. And that's how to create up a Wufoo donation, simple donation form, and put it inside your mobile app. Okay, so we've talked about creating a donation form. Now let's talk about making an event registration form with payment options. So let's create a new form inside of the Wufoo in our admin panel. And I'll add some things I need. Name, email, phone number. And then we'll say this is a women's retreat. And we'll say there's different options. You may have different pricing options. So we'll do that, and I'll select that with a drop-down. But you could also do it with a multiple choice. So select the drop-down choice here. So select payment option. We'll say payment option 1 is $10. Payment option 2 is 20. And 3 is, you guessed it, 30. And say we don't have any more options, so we just have those 3 options there. You could also do that by selecting the radio buttons, but we just did it with the drop-down. And I'll leave that there. We want to make this required, because obviously that's going to matter for how much they're actually going to pay. And then we're going to save our form. You can see how you can do a lot more stuff with that. You could have different pricing options, so maybe if they want a t-shirt with it, that's going to add a little bit more. So we could say and we'll say no, and we'll say yes. We'll say that's $24. Why I chose that, I have no idea. But $24 for the t-shirt sounds good. Alright, we'll label our form and add a description if needed. Hit Save Form. We've already talked about email notifications, so we're going to go back to the Form Manager. And we're going to go to Payment. Okay, so we'll connect to our Stripe account that we created. All right, and then something I like to do is hit pre-populate billing information. So for example, it's going to want the name, but I can populate some of that stuff if I already have it in the form. So like email. There we go. Okay, so now I want to assign. So we'll say select payment options as 1, and I'm going to assign a price to each of the options that they select. And then t-shirt, I'm going to 0 for no, but for yes, I'm going to hit 24. Now I'm going to save options, and we'll see how that looks. And you can see the price there, $54. It's added in the t-shirt, and then my billing information. Something we didn't talk about a second ago was we talked about how to put it inside the app, which is the same, just the Wufoo. What if I want to put it on Facebook or put it on my website? Same thing, just hit the code here, and you can embed this form inside your web page. Just by clicking there, hit Control or Command C, and then paste it into the page that you want. You can also do the iframe option, or if you have the WordPress, if your church uses WordPress, you can use this with a plugin that they have. Facebook is a little more complicated, but you can add it to your Facebook page with the form, which is really helpful. Or you can do a pop-up link where if they click on it on their form, it'll bring up a small shadow box video similar to what you see here. So those are the other ways you can take that. It's the same form, so you can put it inside your mobile app, on Facebook, or on your web page, or even just as a link that somebody clicks on an email.